Underdawg Podcast. It's your host T. Lee and my co-host Jack Cowden will be live today as usual.
Was pulling up, they acting like they couldn't see me. Now she wanna clean me up like a squeegee. I told her that's on me, baby, like yellow BZ. With the peanut butter tear like a Reese.
He's gonna persevere through all the obstacles. Get it done. That's the underdog.
They don't forget the underdog when they see me. I hit them with the John Cena, they can't see me.
You may overlook this person, but the underdog is the one who's gonna put in the work.
It's over, you know? Because you have to lose to win. Whether you think losing is a big event.
Out of mind. All I'm saying, just be careful who you idolize. I'm kicking these scriptures just before the fame. Ain't no cap in my words, I go against the grain.
So I always believed in, like, I took so many risks to make this thing happen, you know what I mean?
I'm always working, bro. Like I said, I'm energy driven.
Underdog can put you on your ass. The underdog can put you on game. The underdog can show you something that you didn't know.
Can't go down. All you can do is go up. So are you gonna stay where you at, or are you gonna move up?
Feel the bangers. Feel the bangers.
He said he's nervous. This is his first time doing it.
Cut her ass off, if she get that, I can reread.
Yo, what it do, good people? Welcome to the Underdogs Podcast. We back live with another exclusive, you feel me? It's the Underdawg Chronicles in excellent order, featuring director, photographer, videographer, and creative director, owner of Copacetic, Georgia's own Dajzha. Going to bring in here the right way. You know what I mean? What's going on?
Good. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be doing this. This is my first time doing something like this. So.
Oh, word. Okay, we getting the exclusive right here. That's what's up, man. Definitely appreciate you, taking time out your schedule, to come give your $1 million story to the people,
I did.
But yeah, we just gonna kick it off, first and foremost, as we push the importance of knowing ourselves. Who is Dajzha as a person outside of what you do? Like, what type of vibe you bringing around?
Who is Dajzha as a person? I'm pretty chill. I'm pretty fun. I have a good time. But mostly I'm pretty chill. I'm always working or shooting. But I like to make everybody feel included. I like to be a safe space for everybody that I'm around. I like to just be chill. Like, I don't really like to be outside like that.
Yeah.
Against being outside, but I just be at the house chilling with people I'm close to. I'm pretty chill. I like to think.
That's what's up. Yeah, I feel that, sometimes you just gotta have laid back vibes. You feel me? Sometimes outside be a little too much going on,
Right.
And then it's like, when you focused on your true passion and what you're trying to get done, anything that you do or get yourself involved in gonna be revolved around that for the most part. Exactly. And that what makes you happy.
Exactly. Lately it's like you have a lot to lose. So
right. So born and raised in Georgia, like what was it like coming up in the South in general from your perspective?
So I was born in Texas, but I came to Georgia when I was 3. So I've just been in the South in general all of my life.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I really don't have anything bad to say. I will say I think that the perspective that I grew up in definitely formed the way that I like to shoot, or the things that I like to shoot, the people that I like to shoot. I'm lately in the space of like gearing things towards like Black joy or Black happiness. I really want to possibly do a series or a gallery on just that.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, growing up in the South just highlighted the beauty in my culture and my people for me more than anything, because I feel like society tries to build Black people to be so many different things.
Yeah.
Didn't grow up like that. Like, I just grew up with, people have their ups and downs, but I didn't grow up embracing those negative connotations about our culture.
Man, I like how you answer that, because you actually answered the question I was going to ask you. And then at the same time, how you were saying, like, your purpose and what you're doing, is to highlight the other side of it, the stuff that society doesn't show, you know, because society only shows one side and it's their side, you know. So all the stereotypes and that, they gonna definitely push all that, you know. It's like, you know, how would you be, and then at the same time, how would you be able to tell somebody else's story if you're not even a part of it? Like they don't know no idea or anything about, you know, our people like that. They
Exactly.
just
That's so
created these boxes and created these structured environments for, you know, those things that happen, you know.
right.
There's much more than that. So who would you say molded you into the person you are today?
A collection of people, a collection of events.
Okay.
I have 5 younger sisters, so I'm an older sister. I just saw my youngest baby sister off to her senior year this morning. So that was a lot. I definitely think being an older sister, I hold myself to high standards. My mom, watching the things she's done and accomplished, I hold her to higher standards.
Yeah.
Or I hold myself to higher standards from that. So definitely like my siblings and my parents have molded me into who I am.
That's what's up, you know, to have some type of outlet around that draws your inspiration towards it, you know, especially family. So what in your personal life has influenced the passion you have for what you do?
Really just I can honestly say I'm still young, but when I was younger and like I got out of high school and I was just trying to figure things out, I feel like I struggled just being in the moment. I feel like I still struggle with that from time to time now, but back then it was very like I was very just anxious and worried about stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But I had already like picked up a camera, figured out that I like to take pictures, make videos, but I never really dove into it the way that I did once it started to feel like an outlet for me creatively, and just being able to like capture those moments, create those moments, build visions for myself and other people. Once I started to zone in on that, I feel like it helped me like inspire me and push me to be like, okay, we're gonna focus on photography mainly. So I'll say like I guess I don't want to credit my anxiety, but I guess I'll credit that for the moment. Like it helped me just want to stay in the moment more.
It was definitely so. Being that you're in the field of photography and many other skills, you know, behind the camera, like uh what was your starting equipment like when you first started? Like what was, you know, what is the start off point?
I had a Nikon D3400. It came with one lens. No, it has two. It had two. I still have those lenses to this day. That camera, I have no clue. I think I broke like the shutter or something. I tried to get a picture into that. I had that camera for a really long time, and I made a couple that camera got me through college, like the first half of college. And then once I changed schools from SCAD to Georgia State, somewhere in there, like during the pandemic when there was like passive money, I finally bought some new equipment. So I purchased my camera that I have now, which is my Sony a6000. And my film camera is a Canon Rebel G, but it's like the first digital film camera. And I got it from my granddad. He passed it down after he passed. And it's just been holding me down ever since.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and then my cameras are actually right here. And then my Polaroid, I got it at a yard sale. Film camera, it was a gift, honestly, and it's been amazing. It's got me places. I've taken some of my most viral, some of my favorite shots on this film camera. And my digital camera, I don't know, she's right here. Yeah. But the starter, don't sleep on Nikon D3400. I always tell people, not always tell people, but if they do ask me, like, what do you think I should get? I would definitely suggest that camera because it was very versatile and it held me down for years. Like, it did what it needed to do.
Nah, I can tell those first pieces of equipment you have gonna be in a glass shelf, you know, with Copacetic be, you know, nationally known and everything.
Yeah,
Most
okay.
definitely. Um, so what it is that you do in general though, like just behind the camera, you know, being that you're a photographer, videographer, creative director, like you got an eye for a lot of things.
This question, I was reading the question like when you to like figure out what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
And this question did give me like the hardest hump, I guess, to figure something out because I do a lot of things, as you said, like
Many hats.
many hats. And I don't want to be the person who's like, you know, a master of all is a master of none.
Right.
I do feel like I have my main thing. Like my main thing is definitely photography. I really enjoy it. I just want to take it and mold it into doing other things because why not?
Yeah. I honestly feel like you talent stacking though, and talent stacking is where success comes from.
I've
Yeah.
actually never heard the phrase of talent stacking. What does that mean?
So talent stacking is, you know, you stack a lot of talents, but all those talents that you stack like intertwine with each other. So they all piggyback off each other. You know, it's not like I do music and then like I'm a shoe connoisseur or something like two different things. Like, you know, it's like if I do music, like somewhere in between art falls in, and you know, because they're all intertwined. Just art is just visual, you know, sayings without words. You know, it's just creative. Everything is creative. Anything that you're thinking in the mind to create something, you know, they all kind of go together.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. So I'll say, what do I do as a collective? I'm just
Yeah.
creative. Like I'm just a creative
Mm-hmm.
that isn't afraid to explore any avenue or outlet that I feel comfortable with. Like I'm a photographer, but I'm also really comfortable playing in fashion. I'm really comfortable playing in film because for all of these have photography aspects. Like film, there's always going to be a director of photography on set. Fashion, there has to be somebody to frame photograph these things and so that you can put this out. So I
No,
was
no doubt.
if that's really into all of the outlets.
Because I feel like when you're in the room and they're like, we need somebody to do this and do that, it's like, oh, well, we got it right here. Like, you don't have to go too far to look for something, you know.
This is definitely true.
So like, what has this journey been like thus far for you, you know, like from the moment you began to now?
It's been really fun. I can honestly say it's been really fun. I've done a lot of great things. It's forced me to grow as a person, and that has been like interesting and fun. Like bittersweet is the best word for that. As a person who's like in their 20s in this life, just trying to figure it out. Um, Lots of no's, lots of discouragement, but also lots of like really good times and really good things happening and really great opportunities. So I would say that, and I like that in general. I like just being forced to grow. And I think I have a strong hold on photography. Like me and photography are just locked in for life because it's like, it's never not done that for me. I have yet to get to the point where I'm feeling complacent or like I'm just no longer growing in that field or craft. So it's definitely made me grow in ways that have been hard before. Like I've had ups and downs. I've broken my camera and wasn't able to shoot for months. Like I've just gone through stuff, but it just forced me to grow in other ways and figure it out.
Right. Most definitely, you know, it's just like for any obstacle, it's like, you know, do I sit here and dwell on it or do I pick up the pieces and create something new from it, you know? So early on, like when and how did you discover that you were a creative person?
I really discovered that I was creative when I was really, really young. I used to live with my dad and my stepmom and a lot of the activities that we would do. Like she would just have us do a bunch of activities like during the summer. It was never a bland summer. We wasn't sitting around. No, we was either painting something, sculpting something, building something. We made a whole stop motion film one time. Like we were always doing things. And I would always notice how just easy it would come to me. It would come way more easier to me than my siblings a lot of the time. And then that just followed me throughout life. Like growing up, if my clothes, I didn't like them, I would just alter them myself. Growing up, I would just do whatever I wanted as far as like creating things for myself, doing things for myself. And I always knew I was really creative. I just kind of found what works for best for me later on, which just so happened to be photography, because I could have easily went a different direction with that.
Really?
Or I could have easily went in a different direction.
Any direction.
Whatever direction. Photography just got to my heart first. So yeah.
That's what's up. So an affirmation I would consider, Copacetic Vision would be a world renowned name in the industry of film photography and entertainment as a whole, so that's something like you're speaking into existence. And I personally believe like words are powerful. In what ways are you working towards your goal for Copacetic Vision to make such a huge impact on society?
Thank you for that. Firstly, I really love affirmations. And I also believe that with affirmations and prayer, you can do whatever you want to do in this life. For me and what I'm doing to finally, but to just get where I want to be, staying consistent has been a huge thing for me. Like staying consistent and just working hard. I feel like I've been shooting for so long, but I've only been taking it seriously for a small amount of time, maybe about 2-3 years. And I've seen the difference. Like I've seen what taking your work consistently and taking yourself seriously looks like. So really just staying consistent, not being afraid to collaborate with other people, not being afraid to help other people bring their vision to life. Like it doesn't always have to be my project. I don't always have to lead. I love giving a helping hand to others, whatever y'all need, and really keeping those mindsets going, keeping in mind that professionalism and how you treat people will take you far, like will take you very, very far. So keeping those 4 like pillars of principles in mind really, I feel like will really help me become that household name, become that world renowned name creative that I am striving to be.
Big facts. I like the answer. So Copacetic Vision, what does it mean to you and how did the name come about?
So Copacetic Vision means to me in excellent order. I'm sorry, 1 second. My laptop is saying it's gonna die.
Yeah, excellent order. Underdawg Chronicles.
In excellent order, right? How did the name come about? That's a good question. I honestly feel like a lot of times what happens is especially in school, when I didn't know a word or when a teacher said something when I was in college, I would just Google it. Like, okay, I don't know what this means. Let me just ask vernacular. And it got to a point where I was signed up for dictionary.com. They'll send you an email about a word a day, a new word a day. And I was just really into it. Like I would make sure I read my word a day. I believe one of the words one day was copacetic, and that means in excellent order. And when I read that, it just clicked for me. I was like, I like this because I can also take vision off and I can say copacetic pieces for my copacetic sound if I want to get into music or copacetic. Like anything that I do, as long as I try my best and put my best foot forward, to me, that's excellence. To me, as long as I'm not half-assing anything or not putting in my best efforts, you're doing it in excellent order. So I really just attached myself to it and have not let go.
That was it sounded like you revolved it around like, your work ethic, and how you're gonna go about things, So an excellent order is like, it's just like I stand on business. That's why it's Copacetic Vision,
Exactly.
So what are some of the ways you stand out that makes, you unique, in your world of, photography and, many hats you wear? Like what makes you different though from others?
I feel like what makes me different is my lack of trying to be liked or trying to do things for the out the audience. Like I obviously understand that when you create, you have an audience. People are always going to be critics. But creating for me is way more personal. So that's never, ever, ever my first thought when it comes to creating. When it comes to creating, I'm always like asking myself, how do you feel? What are you trying to express? Or if I'm working with a client, it's the same thing. Like, how do you feel? What are you trying to express? What are you trying to get through? What are you trying to say? And I feel like that differentiates me because a lot of times you'll find that people are, one second, I'm sorry. You'll find that people are creating for outside gratitude or just multiple different reasons that, I mean, if it works for them, it works for them. But creating has always been very personal for me. And I think that people feel that when I have had galleries, people will see the work and hear me explain how I came across I have a picture of a homeless man standing upside down. And the story to that is I was outside in New York one night and he just ran up on us and I just took his picture. He did a handstand for us. It was and it was just fun. It was spontaneous. It was in the moment. And that's what I was feeling. And when you communicate that to people at galleries, it's like, oh, wow, I can feel that, or I can reciprocate that. Little things like that, like how my work makes people feel matters a little less and a little more, as long as you feel what I was trying to express.
Yeah.
And I'm always interested in knowing how it made you feel as well. But I don't know. I don't feel like I create to be like, oh, I hope everybody.
Yeah. That's not the sole purpose of it. But it's like, anybody that's a creative or an artist that do music or art or whatever you may do, like we're in general, even if you're an entrepreneur, you're serving people. Like you literally just serving people, in what ways to make them better, So I like that, because you gotta, if you're doing it just, not for yourself and just for other people, like you're gonna be all over the place because now we're gonna have a clear vision of where you're going because it's gonna change so much when you're just focusing on what everybody else gonna like from you.
Exactly. And
because phases happen and go.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like trends come and go. So you're not gonna have like a final destination. You're gonna just have like following a wave. And it can be hard to like stay afloat. And I just feel like that is something that makes me different. And then something else that makes me different, I just think that I move with move in excellent order, move with confidence. I just really try to believe in myself as much as possible.
As you should. For real. So as a creative individual, do you believe that you perceive the world differently from other people? Like, do you think that any unusual like thought processes are involved when you create something?
Yes and no. I feel like after saying all of that, like I do create for myself, but I also really sometimes need somebody to say, hey, not this outside opinion, but this outside perspective might better your work. So I do find those very important, those close friends that I trust. Because I do feel like the thought process is different. The thought process as a perspective, the thought process as a personal perspective, I feel like it can be very self-centered. And I feel like having that other outside opinion, the ones that you trust, does help. Because I do feel like the way I see the world and the way I see things is very different from the general conciseness.
Yeah. I would say people that aren't creators, they might be good at something else, but I feel like when you're creative, you think and see things different already because like everybody can't, do exactly what you're doing. Like it's like they look at the difficulty in it and stuff. But for you, being that you indulged in what you're doing so long, like your spectrum of thinking is all over the place to where it's like, oh, that's easy. I can just, it comes easy. So
That's a very good point. I like the way you put it because the way you put it made more sense. And it's like, as a creative, a lot of us do just tackle things head on. Like a lot of us do not consider what we could lose. A lot of us really don't address fear the same way that a lot of people would.
yeah, like it's like a new task for them. It's like you it's like almost having a conversation with somebody. Like, you ever record a song before that? Like, no, I can't even use it. I don't even like they just already talked themselves out of it, But and anything you do, you gotta start somewhere. So the early days, like I look at it as, my being an artist because I do music. Like I did not sound like it's just levels to it, but you got to be consistent and make it through the beginning process. Like somebody learning to cut hair. They're not gonna cut hair perfectly the first time. They might line be all over the place and everything, but it's just the determination and stuff behind it that you build that creates that master barber or person that's really skillful at what they're doing,
Definitely.
So what motivates your creative ideas and creative activity? Like, what role do you think emotions play in your creative process?
Definitely a high role. What motivates me? Nothing. Like literally, I just want to do this. I feel like it's my purpose. I feel like it's just what I'm supposed to be doing. My emotions do play a high role in what I create, honestly, as I've already indulged on, but definitely even when I'm working with clients, like I'm just excited to help whatever you're doing, whatever you're trying to portray. I'm excited to be there. I'm excited to help do whatever I can. So definitely emotionally motivated, but even if it's not my thing, motivated just off the strength of helping somebody else.
Facts. For real. 'Cause if I feel like, like I said, back to like when you feel like we serving others, like we're changing society in our own way. So how do you feel about the way Copacetic is being experienced by others? Like, how do you react to criticism or praise, and what emotions are involved?
I'm really sensitive about my work, as Erica Badu would say. I feel sensitive about so criticism, I can react better to that. I'm still growing in that space because everybody can get better at everything. So nobody's walking around here being perfect at everything.
Right.
I'm working on that. How I react to praise, I mean, I feel like I take it in, but not a lot of times. There have been times where it's like, I just wanted to do this for me and it's being praised and I'm grateful for that. Like, I'm grateful that you guys like this piece of work, but it was really just something that I needed to get through, express, speak on. So the praise I kind of always take with a grain of salt because I'm just grateful to have the outlet. And the criticism, I'm working on it. But I'm grateful overall. Like, I'm really grateful to just be doing this in general. Like, even this interview now, like, I'm grateful to be in this space where I get to just create and talk about creating and just be myself, feel good. Like, it's hard work, but I like that I'm getting to a space where it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. Like, it don't feel like, I'm forced to feel like this or whatever. It's just like, when you get to the fact where like Copacetic vision is national and you where you want to be, but you can still wake up and be like, it's another day in the neighborhood for me. Like, this is what I do. Like,
Right.
So it's definitely gonna I feel like it's gonna reach its potential just based off, how you're answering these questions. I can tell you really, passionate about what you do and why you do what you do. So that's the most important. And like, people like to work with people like that in general too. When you can tell somebody really truly passionate about what they're doing, like even when you look into like small things, like how detailed they are about certain things and everything, like all that plays a role. Like how people perceive you and stuff. They're like, okay. And then recommendations and everything start coming in. Like, it's all, I feel like the more like, the more you kind of move like that with your business, because it's like you representing your brand as well. You know, like you're the face of Copacetic. So, what do you do, if anything, to enhance your creativity?
I try to stay active, I would say. I feel like we can be on our phones a lot. And as a
Yeah.
creative trying to consistently put out content, it can get draining. So I like to try. I am not the best. I do scroll a lot of the time sometimes, but I like to try to like set aside a time to be like, okay, I'm gonna post this content here, this content there, and then I'm gonna go work out, or I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna make some clothes. I'm gonna paint. I'm gonna feed myself in other creative ways. I do watch interviews a lot also, though, people who inspire me. Like right now, I'm really into Issa Rae's interview. She just did the run for the Barbie movie. Keke Palmer. Shirley Ralph just had a TED Talk. Like, I'll watch stuff like that from people who inspire me to just, see if I can get some insight, see where their head's at. And then I also just create with my friends. That helps feed my creative spirit.
Facts. Nah, definitely. It's like you gotta change this your like I said, you gotta change your routine sometimes,
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have periods of great creativity, or does your creative flow like it just be continuously?
You're saying, do I have like
you have periods of great creativity, like I may have 1 day or 2 days, but this third day, like I'm on something just came by, like I'm thinking of something new, like how can I say, like my creative drive is all the way up this day, or does it flow like continuously, like every day is something new?
Definitely comes in waves. Definitely, I would say periods, because as a creative, first of all, you have like 10,000 ideas all the time, and then you probably started 5 ideas. You probably got 100 ideas you done started but didn't finish. You probably got this one big idea that you really want to lock in on. So it comes in waves, and it just depends on what it is. Like, if I have a series of photos, if I know specifically something I want to shoot, I'll probably just lock in on that. But that's going to take a lot of energy. So after that, I'm probably going to be a little burnt, and probably just going to have to wait for life experiences to inspire me again.
Yeah, like how you said that. That's big, because life experiences do it. Like sometimes you got to get out and just go hang out somewhere, take a drive, and just events,
Exactly.
different events to pull ideas from. So what do you do in a normal day that contributes, to your work, like to Copacetic, if anything?
What am I doing a normal day? The first thing that came to my mind was eat. And I say eating because eating is a huge form of self-love for me. I love to cook. I love to feed my body. And that I feel like it's just step one. Like if I'm not taken care of, what am I creating? Like if I'm not fueled, I literally can't do anything.
Yeah, that's real.
But something that's more geared towards creativity that inspires me and pushes me, I really don't know. I really feel like I go outside, I go to work, I do go to events. I just try to look at things from a subjective point of view. Because I will say, even now, like going to work, my job, it's like a club type of thing. But what's been inspiring me a lot lately there is just seeing Black people happy. And now I'm in this space of like, I want to do a series on Black joy, something with elderly Black men being happy, because I feel like that's not.
They ain't being showcased.
Like, I feel like it's not appreciated. I feel like just being outside, like being in life, gives me those moments to be like inspired, or I don't feel like I have to do anything specific.
It's like everything just flowing organically, like you're not just forcing it or whatever, it just comes,
Right.
So, if you've experienced any creative blocks, how do you overcome them?
Um, I am emotional. I allow myself to wallow in things, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But after that, like you gotta give yourself a time because I just feel like if you fight it and fight it, it's gonna come out in other ways that are not gonna be healthy. You're gonna
Yeah.
take out on other people. Because I get frustrated. Like as I said before, I'm really hard on myself. So when I feel like I'm not creating enough or I'm not producing enough or I'm not being productive enough, I get really upset. But ways that have helped me out with that, working out, like, or not even working out, like going to the gym heavy, just being outside, being active, going for bike rides. I love doing that. Like doing stuff like that to just change my environment and give me some sunlight, give me some nature.
Hmm.
Also, will just like honestly try to take a social media break. I will really just try to like calm down off of that, delete the app if I need to, because I feel like my few creative blocks have come from like feeling overly compared to everybody due to
Yeah.
social media presence, like feeling overly judged and compared. And it's like, it just all the pressure makes you want to shrivel up and do nothing. But when I have a creative block, a bike ride has been my go-to. A bike ride, a stop at a coffee shop, just like doing things that I really enjoy, genuinely enjoy, just being outside in the world.
Yeah. Nah, that'll definitely do it though. Just change the scenery.
Hmm.
Um, so has your creativity changed stylistically, as you've matured? If it has changed, like, give an example.
I would say definitely stylistically because for one, I mainly shoot film now over
Oh,
video.
word.
I mainly shoot film. I shoot a lot of film. I'm really trying to get into 120 film, but that's just a big purchase and a big step also. But stylistically and film, everything is just more organic on film. I feel like when I was shooting digital, it wasn't terrible. It was just I was just starting out. Like I was just figuring everything out. And now that I shoot film, I feel like the way I play with light is a little different. I feel like the way I frame my models or subjects is different. I feel like digital, I was just moving really fast. Like I was just capture, 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 just and then figure it all out in post. And film forces you to slow down and build your picture before you even take it. So definitely style has changed in that way. Um, but I still feel like I still keep the same energy as far as like just black excellence. I love shooting black people. I love shooting black things, black events, black moments.
Right.
I feel like that will probably withstand through and through.
Yeah, that's definitely a hit right there. Like, just hearing that, it's like, that's something I would look forward to seeing, just based off, how society is and stuff today. Um, so is there anything that you haven't done yet that you feel compelled to achieve in the future?
Yes, I got a list. I got a list of things. Not really a list, but I really want to do a magazine cover. I really have been fiending to do that. I really would like to have my work on a billboard. I've been fiending to do that. And I would love to have a personal gallery because I've been in galleries before with other people. I've hosted a gallery for other women artists before, but I've never had a gallery solely for Copacetic Vision based on like a specific series or a specific thing. I really want to have like a themed gallery that's all of my work. So those are my three big things that I would like to make happen as soon as possible.
Nah, for real, that's dope. Um, that's big, like magazines and everything. Speaking of that, let me show this real quick because he sent me over a PDF file, which I thought was very interesting. Okay, yeah. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
All right, so let's talk about this.
This was a fun time. I didn't shoot that cover, but I know the girl who shot that cover. I love her. Shout out to Friends on Film. Shout out to Ariana. She's amazing. I forget what piece of mine is featured in this, but I have work featured, and it was really fun to just feel included, feel like work with other Atlanta creatives. The girl who runs the magazine, I believe her name is Kiera. She was amazing. She was really nice and really like welcoming about everything. The setup, the layout of it all.
Yeah, I like the cover, like the colors and everything too.
Exactly. Like she curated it with a bunch of like it's all Atlanta artists, like all a bunch of different Atlanta artists, um, poets, painters, writers, photographers, like all different types of things. Like she really did her thing with that.
Yeah, it's like you pick it up and don't want to put it down.
Right.
Just off the how live it is.
And she it was fun, honestly. Like that was a good experience for me. Oh, there's mine. Yeah, the black and white.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, let's talk about this then. Love hurts.
Yeah, her shirt says I love toxic waste. I think I shot this after
This actually does look like your work though, after like seeing your work.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I shot this after a very toxic ending to a toxic thing. But it wasn't right after. It might have been like a couple months. It was just like off the strength. And she showed up and we weren't originally gonna do wet hair, I don't think, but I think it just flowed better. And I love the model. Her name is Destiny. She's an actor, and I love that she was just so willing to get into the role, like the scene of the distressed girl.
Right.
We had just did another shoot with my other friend before that. It was like a couple shoot, but they weren't a couple. It was just like bouncing off each other's energy. I had just finished that, and then we knocked this out in like the remaining 20 minutes that I had of the studio session. And when I got them back, I just enjoyed it in black and white more because it just felt stronger once you took away the color. Once you kept everything black and white, like you're seeing that somebody is in pain or in distress. And yeah, this is still one of my favorite sets to this day. I have a thing where I'm actually trying to put the top picture of her screaming, or is it the bottom? One of these pictures are going to be on different pieces of clothing shortly. But looking back at this, wow, I really like this. I like how I'm just
I like the message too.
Yeah.
And how it like aligns with the photos.
Right.
Yeah, that's really dope.
Thank you.
So let me see. All right. So if you knew that you had only one last opportunity to express yourself creatively, what message would you want to convey to others?
I would want to convey that Black people deserve to be happy. Black people don't deserve to have our trauma profited off of.
Man, big facts.
And that this world, like we are more than people who survived slavery. We are literally the creators of so many things, the curators of pop culture at all times, like
rock and roll, all of that.
Like the curator of everything. If I had one last opportunity to do one big project, I hate to be, and you know, it's funny, like people like to say like, oh, the shirts that be like Black joy is beautiful. Like people like to say those shirts are like corny, but it's like so true. Like they're trying to deliver a message that we all need to really just accept, and that Black joy is beautiful. Black joy deserves to have open spaces. Like
mm-hmm.
deserve to take up more space than the space that is curated around like pain or trauma or whatever.
Yeah, for real. Like, if we happy, it's a problem. It's like, no.
Like literally, if we happy, people want to shut it down quick. Like,
Yeah.
no, we don't deserve that. We're much more than that, and that's something that
Mhm.
I've stood on for a long time. Something I've felt the way about for a long time. So yeah,
Yeah.
that would be, if that had to be my last one, then that would just be my last one.
Yeah. I feel like, the fact that society can make statistics about certain things, it's like, yeah, they definitely, tried to box us in, you
Right.
know. So what would you say is your greatest accomplishment to date?
As of lately, I recently had my work posted by Adidas.
Oh,
That was
that's amazing.
the bomb. I love that.
Yeah.
That was a whirlwind event. It happened like 2 days before my 21st birthday, and
Mhm.
felt like it felt like a beautiful closing of chapter to 23 and a very beautiful opening of doors to what 24 has to bring. As long
Yeah.
as I keep the hard work going, as long as I keep growing, staying consistent.
Copacetic on the way.
You know
That's
what I'm
all.
saying? Like next, they're gonna just be calling me directly, and I'm just gonna
Mhm.
be there
You be
to
like, how you, your phone gonna ring? Like, how you got my number?
literally.
Yeah. So, what do you enjoy most about what you do, though? In general.
It's fun,
What?
honestly. I'm sorry. I can honestly say it is a good time, like curating a shoot, enjoying people's vibe, taking pictures of people, boosting confidence, making them feel good, making sure they look good, feel good, creating a vision that you had or they had. Just vibes overall of creating is just my favorite part. Like, it's just not a 9 to 5. Like, and I have a 9 to 5,
Mhm.
and I have my creative job as well. And it's like it's two different vibes. One is
Yeah.
enjoyable, one is enjoyable, and one is like, okay, I just got to do this to make sure I can pay the bills.
Yeah. Nah, facts, like, and then, even if, somebody working 9 to 5, anybody working 9 to 5, you feel me? Just keep striving and putting your eggs in your other basket.
Literally,
Yeah.
investing in you, keep focusing on you. Because
Yeah.
most work for somebody. If you're happy with that, then it's like more power to you.
Mm-hmm.
Not like, I've always tried to teach myself to not get complacent in my 9 to 5. Like
Yeah.
I will be able to quit that one day and solely only
Right.
be working as a creative.
Yeah, the goal is to get away from it, just because the authority part of it, like I'm in control of everything,
Exactly.
nobody's in control. I got more control over how this goes, how the show goes.
Exactly.
So that's amazing. So what has your experiences been like, showcasing Copacetic to be featured in the Trap Museum, Future Dead Artist Gallery, Fitsco, Flurry Magazine, First Gen Magazine, New York Youth Film Festival, Atlanta's Underground Film Festival, Voyage Atlanta, shout out Atlanta. Just a few to name off your portfolio, which, you won, let me see, first prize. Yeah. So yeah, like what's that experience been like, being a part of those?
It's been really nice to just feel highlighted, to feel seen, to feel like your work isn't going unseen or underappreciated or underappreciated. It has taught me things. It's taught me a lot about like the business side of photography, the business side of being in galleries and stuff like that.
Yes.
And every learning experience is definitely different. I really enjoy it though. I want to do more. The film festival ones was just like when you're in school for film, because I went to school for film with a minor in photography. Um, they make you submit your short films that you make to like actual things, and I did. And the short films that I made like got selected for a couple things, and it was nice to just have my work appreciated. Feel like,
Yeah.
okay, you're doing your thing. Like you're trying. I like that the galleries and the festivals and those things feel like small reminders that there are goals. Like you're not doing all this work to get nowhere. Like there
Yeah.
are bigger things to achieve. And on the business side, it's always shown me like you can make real livable money off of doing whatever makes you happy.
Hmm. I feel like consistency is the one that brings a lot of those to your face too. You know, to be like, you know, I'm working towards something, or I'm getting something. You know, I'm getting something out of what I'm doing. You know,
Right.
so consistency is just one of those things that like keep you going. Like, you know, like how you said, just to be, you know, honored to be a part of certain situations, or Adidas doing this and, you know, showcasing your work. Like that'd be like consistently, you know, consistency. You get high out there. Like I gotta come up with something where I keep going. Like, but then you still enjoying the process, you know. And a lot of people, you know, look for shortcuts and cheat codes, but it's like the only thing, the answer to a lot of things, be consistent. How often do you do it? Like,
Exactly.
honest with yourself and be accountable, you know. I can sit here and be like, you know, with music, like I've had a lot of different situations happen that, you know, has like kind of gave me one of those things like, okay, you're a creative. Yeah, you would label yourself an artist. Like, you know, I was doing music before the era of like, how can I say, before the streaming era.
Mm-hmm.
Like opportunities, you know, even after that, just opening for people, or just people, you know, how they consume the music as well. Like I was in the beginning of the process. Now it was more like I want to know how people, the feedback, I want to know the criticism and stuff. Now it's like I've put myself in to be like original. You know, I found my lane, you know, in a sense. It's like, you know, finding yourself as a photographer is like uh when somebody see your work, they're like, okay, that's copacetic. That's not being compared to something else. Like it's something about your work that makes it original, you know, to the person's eye. You know, so I feel like that's a big end goal for a lot of creators to, you know, when they look at it, they're like, oh yeah, that's their work, you know.
I
Um,
that.
nah, definitely, you know, and and because it's a lot of people that, you know, they're not looking for originality, they're just looking to like you say, either going off what the trend is going and all that and trying to recreate that instead of just creating something that, you know, speaks them in a sense.
Right.
So what are some of your memorable moments thus far?
Memorable moments thus far. Definitely the Adidas thing. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Um, I shot this girl named Geo at the top of the year in January in my bathtub. She came from a crazy situation.
Mhm.
We had a mood board. We set it up. That shoot haunts me to this day. Like people will always DM me about it, ask me about it,
Yeah.
and it was so crazy because it just happened super fast and super raw. Um, but it really touched a lot of people in different ways, and I'm happy to have had that moment. Definitely the Future Dead Artists and Trap Museum Gallery, that was a big thing for me. I'm gonna
Mhm.
go full circle because I had hosted a gallery in that space before, but I didn't have any of my own work up. And to have my work up in a gallery that was curated by the gallery owner and Trap Museum, it was really nice. It just felt, I was grateful to just be there. It was a very humbling experience.
Yeah.
Disco Gallery, that was their very first gallery that they had ever had, and I got the opportunity to be a part of that. So I was really grateful for that. Um, so those have all been very big. Like I'm grateful for this type of moments. Memorable moments in the year so far. I'm excited to create more. I'm really trying to get into putting my artwork and my photos and whatnot on clothes.
Mhm.
I'm really trying to get into like creating more memorable moments with that. But so far in the year, those have been my top 4 or 5, top 5 for sure.
So like speaking of you know, creating more moments, like before, being that we halfway through the year, like 2023 is gonna be over before we know it. Like, what ways are you preparing yourself for the next year?
Really trying to organize my finances to like invest in myself more. That's something that I really want to do. I really need to buy like new lenses. I would like to get a 120 camera, like I was saying earlier. And then just like really establishing relationships. I think this year is about, I've always been shooting and like working with people, working with clients, but I've had the most like return clients. I've had the most people book me multiple times back to back this year. So I really feel like watering and nourishing those relationships will take me far, because you never know what a recommendation can do for you. You never know what a booking can do. You never know who knows what.
Mm-hmm.
And just again, like staying consistent, focusing on my craft, staying consistent, and not being afraid to try new things, try new avenues of exercising my craft.
Big facts. And I feel like that's already gonna be in the words, because how your talent stacking, all that stuff intertwines, like it's not like it don't make sense. Like why are you cooking barbecue or whatever, and you say you're a rapper? Like that stuff just don't go together. Like, like but if you working in the sense of everything feeds off each other, that it all builds at the same time. So any upcoming events or projects in the works you would like to share?
Upcoming events, I would say I have a creative agency for women. Also, it's called Femine. I would say everybody keep an eye out on that. We are going to have a very fun event coming up to kick the fall off. For me personally, I would say keep an eye out for my personal gallery. We're definitely doing that before the year's over with.
Okay.
And as of right now, I do have some Copacetic pieces available for purchase via Depop. In any of the link is in any of my Instagram bio, Twitter bio, all of that. Copacetic pieces, all one of one, all basically exactly what I was talking about. Like I took a picture and I placed it onto a piece of clothing, and I love them. So those are the things that I want to quick plugs.
Yeah. Nah, facts. You got copacetic vision, copacetic pieces, copacetic sound, just copacetic everything.
Basically.
So make sure y'all go and tap in on the Instagram, copacetic vision. So any shout outs or recognition you would like to give to those who've been supporting you on this journey?
Yes, I would like to shout out to my boyfriend. He's been holding me down. He's always my BTS man, my PA on set, whatever I need, he hold it down. Shout out to his brand, it's Gusto Boys. Shout out to all of my friends who just let me take pictures of them when I don't have anything to shoot. Shout out to Haley, shout out to Ruth, shout out to Bree. Shout out to Femine, shout out to Samia. That's my co-owner of that. Mm-hmm. She has been a great help in this life for me. As I've always said, I'm very like creative. She's very logical about things. So I really appreciate that of her. Shout out to Future Dead Artists for that opportunity. That was amazing. Shout out to Gio for the opportunities that she's given me to shoot with her. That have honestly changed my life in ways that I'm forever appreciative of. And yeah, just shout out to my community. Shout out to my group of people who just accept me for me, the person who's always creating something, making something. They don't judge me. They just let me do me. It's always nice.
Nah, for real. It's good to be in a space like that when nobody like, I think you need to do it like this. Or I think this should be like that. Now it's like you putting your vision on me. Like, just let me, if I, let me finish it, then I come to you, and ask. But yeah, in the process, let me be me. So last but not least, well, before I even get into that though, it was definitely an honor to bring you on the platform,
It was an
Had to, give you your flowers the right way, lay the red carpet out like the Grammys, get the $1 million store and let you just have your way. That's what we do over here at the Underdogs. We like to that's one of the things we're doing, for the culture is promoting the positivity and letting people tell their stories to influence and impact, other people that may have been through the same things or trying to go in the same type of route, and just need some guidance. So, to hear people go through obstacles or whatever and stuff like that, it's like, oh, like they still from them to go be right there and then get there, it's like, okay, well, it ain't so bad,
Right.
just anyways to fuel people motivation. But like I say, it was definitely an honor to have you on. But last but not least, the question we ask everybody: what does being the underdog mean to you, or when you hear the word underdog?
Being the underdog means that y'all might be asleep right now, but when the time comes, you're gonna know who I am, and you're not like the talent is undeniable. The work ethic is there; it's undeniable as well. So it's like being the underdog is just being the person that has to just work a little harder, stay a little more consistent, go a little harder to get where they need to be. And there's literally nothing wrong with that because hard work is the key to it all. So I feel like when I hear the word underdog, it's almost empowering because the underdog always comes out on top. Like,
yeah, big facts.
The overnight success always fizzles out, and the underdog remains supreme all the time. So I'm empowered with that statement, and I feel like I'm just gonna keep working to get where I want to be, just like any underdog would.
Yeah, you're gonna get there because the underdog stay popping. You did what I'm saying, but it was definitely an honor to have you on. Make sure y'all go follow at Copacetic Vision on Instagram. Check everything out. You do commissions for people too, when they inquire. Yeah, she do commissions and everything. So she open for any idea, however y'all coming. She gonna be just pleased to do what she do, you feel me? But this was, this was an excellent order, Underdawg Chronicles.
Gold mouth, rabbit on my teeth, I got carrots. Open up her mouth and she got vocals sound like Janet. Marble on the floors, but the kitchen kinda granite. Lean color perk, you would think it's pomegranate. I see flying saucers finna roll another planet. It will fall in place if it's meant to be organic. I got crazy lingo, you would think I'm speaking Spanish. I'm something like a pie, never leave without the cannon. I'm enlightened, check, I got stones around my neck. If you pay attention, I teach her how to earn respect. I walk around with a tag like I'm mad at the rail. People do any damn thing for a check. So what if you got signed labels, throw them on the shelf? I don't ask for help, I just go within myself. Hard times I prevail, I bust up out my shell. I let my nuts hang, cause it don't got no curfew. Gold mouth, rabbit on my teeth, I got carrots. Open up her mouth and she got vocals sound like Janet.